Erika Walter, coming to you from Foothills, Alberta. In this series, AI Ability, I dive into some AI tools for beginners. I'll go over how they've helped me spend less time at a laptop and possibly how they can help you. Today, we're checking out the fascinating world of AI and exploring how to create effective prompts to generate high quality content for both written work and image generation. These prompts will turn the responses you get from AI from meh to amazing. I'll break down what makes a great prompt, and I'll provide examples to illustrate the process. Finally, we're going to discuss advanced prompts for different use cases such as social media creation, academic essays, work presentations, sales funnels, and image generation, and show you how to use AI to enhance your prompts if you get stuck. When I started generating content with AI, I got a lot of mediocre content with my prompts, and maybe you've also been disappointed by the responses you get from AI. The key, really, to unlocking the full potential of AI lies in prompting. A well crafted prompt can transform an AI's output from something unusable to something great. Hopefully, by the end of this episode, it's going to be a bit more clear what prompts will be useful for you and how to recreate them regularly. Understanding the basics of what makes a good AI prompt starts with detailed instruction. Think of it as giving clear instructions to someone who can do almost anything, but only if they understand exactly what you want. There are some key elements I have found that it really helps to know and use when prompting: task, content, examples, point of view, format, tone, clarity, specificity, and role playing. Now, you don't need to include all of these elements in every prompt you write, but being aware of them helps. And the more detailed the prompt is, yep, you guessed it, the better the results are. Let's explore each of these 9 categories in more detail. Task. It's the core of your prompt. Clearly define what you want the AI to do. For example, write a social media post prompting our new fall line of jeans. Or generate a marketing email explaining the benefits of our bikes. Here you see you're going to get a little bit of content back, and we'll go over those in a minute. Context helps the AI understand the background and produce relevant content. For example, write a blog post about the benefits of meditation. The audience are beginners looking to improve their mental health, and AI gives you all of this as an output. So, going on to number 3, examples. By including examples, you can guide the AI to produce content in the desired style or format. So, for example, write an essay about backyard gardening. Here's an example of the tone and style I prefer, and then insert that in parentheses. The reply turns out like this. Point of view. Specify the perspective or voice you want the AI to adopt. This can be first person, third person, for example. Write an article about the best places to hike in Alberta from a first person perspective. And it generates a really nice little essay. Format focuses on the structure or format that you want for the response. So, for example, if you're trying to write a blog post, you'd say, write a blog post about Chaga coffee and its advantages over regular coffee. The post should include an introduction, 3 main points, and a conclusion. And then you're going to get those sections back from the AI. The tone, it's just about describing the tone you want for the content. For example, if you're going to generate a social media post, you're going to want to use a friendly sort of tone. So this one is generate a social media post promoting a new water bottle in a casual and friendly tone. It could also be a professional tone. Anything really works there. Clarity, you just want to make sure that your prompt is clear and easy to understand. Create an essay about 5 fun things to do for the summer for kids who want to improve their fitness. Specificity, be specific about your requirements. So, an example of this would be write a 500-word blog post about the ways to treat shin splints for runners looking to improve their rebound times. Include 3 main treatment options currently available. That's very specific. You've given it how long you want, and you've also gone into exactly what you want out of the essay. And number 9 is role playing. Here you want to ask the AI to adopt a specific role to enhance the response that you're going to get. For example, as a social media expert, write a blog post about a new fitness tracker and its benefits for beginners starting their fitness journey. That's giving them the role as the expert, and you're going to get quite a good response from that. Let's start with some real world examples. Whether you're using a chatbot like ChatGPT or Claude, or an AI writer like Jasper or Koala Writer, what you want and the corresponding prompt might look something like this. Let's take a blog post. Your task would be to write the blog post. The context would be the audience is for beginners interested in darts. Your format, introduction, 3 main points, and conclusion. Your tone would be casual and friendly. Specificity, 500 words. So your prompt would look something like this. Write a 500-word blog post about playing darts for beginners. The post should include an introduction, 3 main benefits, and a conclusion. Use a casual and friendly tone. That gives the AI all the information that it's going to need. And it generates quite a good prompt. For a marketing email task, generate a marketing email. Context would be promoting a new sports channel. An example would be you could provide a sample email template that you or a competitor have used in the past that was really effective, and put that in parentheses. The tone, enthusiastic and persuasive. The tone, enthusiastic and persuasive. Prompt, generate a marketing email promoting our new sports channel. Here's a sample email template for style reference. Use an enthusiastic and persuasive tone. And from that, you're going to get this from the AI. So for a social media post, your task might be create a social media post. Your context would be announcing a new feature. Point of view, first person perspective. Tone, excited and engaged. Specificity, 150 characters. So with that information, your prompt would be write a 150 character social media post announcing our new app feature from a first person perspective. Use an excited and engaging tone. And you're going to get something like this as a result. If you're trying to write a product description, your task would be to write a product description. Your context would be for an e-commerce website. Your format include key features and benefits. Tone, professional and informative. Specificity, 200 words. So if we go over here, the prompt would then be write a 200-word product description for our new wireless headphones. Include key features and benefits. Use a professional and informative tone. And you get quite a good generation out of that. If you're trying for a customer support response, you want to generate a customer support response. The context would be responding to a complaint about a delayed shipment. Your point of view would be first person perspective, and your tone would probably want to be apologetic and reassuring. Specificity, address the issue and offer a solution. So if you're going to take those key elements and put them into a prompt, it would be something like generate a customer support response to a complaint about a delayed shipment. Use a first-person perspective with an apologetic and reassuring tone. Address the issue and offer a solution. And that's sort of the results that you get out of there. So those are just some basic prompts and combinations of the 9 elements we talked about that help you generate prompts for various forms of content. Now let's look at some more advanced prompts for social media, sales funnels, and presentations. Social media is all about engagement. The more engaging your content, the more likely it is to be shared, liked, and commented on. But creating engaging content consistently can be challenging. This is where AI comes in. By crafting the right prompts, you can use AI tools to generate captivating social media posts that resonate with your audience. For instance, if you're looking to promote a new product, You could prompt an AI like Jasper or Claude with write a Facebook post announcing our new eco friendly water bottle. Highlight its unique features, such as being made from recycled materials and keeping drinks cold for 24 hours. Use an enthusiastic and friendly tone. This prompt is going to provide clear instructions and it sets the tone, ensuring that the AI generates content that's going to align with your brand's voice and message. For social media growth, a prompt could be something like generate a series of 10 engaging social media posts for Instagram promoting our new fitness tracker. Include a mix of motivational quotes, user testimonials, and feature highlights. Use an enthusiastic and motivating tone. A prompt for viral content or an engagement could be along the lines of write a captivating story for a Facebook post that highlights a real life success story of someone using our product. The post should be emotionally engaging and encourage users to share their own stories. So, for an influencer collaboration, you might want to create an Instagram post template for influencers to promote a skincare line. You'd want to include a brief product description, benefits, and a call to action. Use an authentic and friendly tone. For this last example, I put it into RightSide, and this was the result. Hey there, beautiful souls. We're super excited to introduce our latest skincare line. And then it goes into benefits and has a call to action near the end where you can, to tag us, use the hashtags, things like that. For businesses, you can generate prompts for anything from a webinar or a script to writing a training manual. Here's an example of combining some elements that we discussed and asking an AI for an email sequence for sales funnels. Generate a 5-part email sequence to nurture leads for our online marketing course. Each email should provide valuable content, address common pain points, and include a call to action. Use a conversational and persuasive tone. I've put the prompt over here into RightSeed, and welcome to our marketing course. Email 1, and they give you a little bit of a blurb and goes all the way down to the 5th email. As your prompts become more advanced, you'll be able to create more detailed results. The response to that prompt looks like this. So you're going to get quite a bit, and you can fill in more information or generate again. I've generated more complex prompts to cover topics that range from creating technical reports to marketing plan prompts and historical analysis. And I'm going to drop all of those in a download for free, as it would make this episode way too long to go through them all. And that download is going to be on my socials, where you can go to the link in bio and grab it. One other thing I should mention is another really effective way to generate great prompts is by interacting with AI and asking it for help. For example, you can ask AI something like, I need you to write an academic essay on the concept of justice in Plato's Republic with APA citations. So this is going to try and generate academic work. Now, what you're going to want to add to this is ask me 4 questions that will improve the response you will be giving me. Wait for my response before generating a response. What this does is it reflects in the prompt and allows you to create a better prompt to get more information out of the AI. So this approach will allow you to review what the AI gives you and then provide more detailed information in your final request. This will ensure that the AI produces more accurate and really relevant content. So that prompt that you had before is going to become this instead. Write a 2,000-word academic essay on the concept of justice in Plato's Republic with APA citations. Begin with an introduction that includes a thesis statement. Follow with sections discussing the definition of justice in the dialogue, the role of the philosopher kings, the allegory of the cave, and the impact of Plato's concept on modern philosophical thought. Conclude with a summary of key points and a reflection on the relevance of Plato's ideas in today's world. Use at least 10 peer-reviewed sources for citations. With this more complex prompt, let's drop it into ChatGPT and see what we get. So here I've copied and pasted it out of ChatGPT, and this looks quite good. Of course, this is something that you're going to need to fact check, but it looks like a really decent start. It looks like it used all of the headlines that we wanted, and yeah, it really looks great. Now let's see what AI does with a creative writing prompt that requires a high word count. So for this, we're going to ask for a 10,000 word fantasy novella set in a world where magic is powered by song. The story should follow a young bard who discovers that they possess a rare and powerful ability. We're going to ask it to include elements of world building, character development, and a plot that involves a quest to save their homeland from a looming threat. So ensure that the novella includes a clear beginning, a middle, and an end, and features at least three major plot twists. So that's a lot for a prompt, but let's see what AI does with that. So I put this into Claude and I had the AI generate a response. What was interesting about this, I'm using the free version, so that may make a difference on the results that you get. But I'm asking for 10,000 words. Now, because I'm on the free version, there is a limited amount of requests that I get to make within a time period, usually 24 hours. And this allowed me to get all 10,000 words in one shot. I hadn't used Claude before that day. But as you can see, it stops generating long before it writes 10,000 words. So I had to ask and enter the command continue about 10 or 11 different times. And each time it generated a few chapters at a time. Then I'd ask it to continue. And finally, I asked it to continue and conclude the story. It didn't quite do that. So I asked it to conclude with a happy ending. And we ended up with about 12,000 words in this document. Now, I think it's impressive it wrote 12,000 words this quickly. And this response looks pretty good at first glance, but when I was reading it over, it definitely has some issues. It's a bit cerebral and disjointed, and I'm not sure the quality is going to be anywhere near good enough to hold a reader's attention. But I think that it could be a rough draft or, something as a starting point after you edit and revise a lot. Anything that you have AI generate, you really have to remember you can't just copy and submit. You need to edit, you need to reread, you need to add your own voice and some other ideas that you've researched, as well as fact checking and verifying citations. If they're used, is really paramount. You don't want to hand something in that you haven't fact checked. Creating effective prompts is crucial for leveraging the full potential of AI tools. And using various elements in your prompts, you really can guide the AI to produce high quality content. The good news is, the more you experiment with prompts, the better your results are going to be. Whether you're creating essays, social media posts, marketing emails, or presentations, these elements will help you craft prompts that yield the best results. So, those are the 9 elements that we went over. And remember, interacting with AI to refine your prompts can further enhance the quality of the content generated. So, that's where you ask it to, expand on the prompt that you already have, and it generates a new prompt for you. Now we're going to go on to AI image generation. We're going to try and craft prompts for stunning visuals. Visual content is a crucial part of today's digital landscape. Tools like Midjourney AI, Leonardo AI, or DALL-E can help you create stunning visuals, but only if you know how to prompt them correctly. As AI technology continues to advance, the ability to generate stunning, high quality images using AI tools has become more accessible than ever. Today, we're going to delve into the basics of AI image generation. We're going to explore some of the best AI image generators available, and I'm going to show you how to craft the best prompts to achieve great results. AI image generation involves using machine learning algorithms to create images from textual descriptions or other inputs. These algorithms are trained on vast data sets of images and can produce new, unique images based on the prompts provided by the user. The quality and style of the generated images depend largely on the specificity and clarity of the prompts. Some great options for AI image generators are Midjourney, which is really known for its high quality artistic images and versatility in various styles. DALL-E is another very popular image generator. It was developed by OpenAI. DALL-E is famous for its ability to generate creative and surrealist images from detailed prompts. Leonardo AI is also really great. It's a very powerful tool that offers a range of styles and customization options. There are also some free AI image generators that you can get started with. So you don't have to have a subscription or pay any money up front. These are also really great to practice with. You can do practice prompts and not burn through your credits on a paid image generator. The first one of these is Artbreeder. It allows users to blend images and create new ones using algorithms. Deep Dream Generator uses neural networks to generate dreamlike abstract images. Runway ML offers a variety of AI tools for image generation and editing, with free access to certain features. And Night Cafe Creator provides several AI algorithms to generate artwork with free daily credits for users. Also, Leonardo AI does have a free option. It just doesn't include all the features as the paid version does, and there's a daily creation limit. The AI image generator you choose will have an effect on the results you get, so check out their examples of generated work before you sign up for a subscription plan. Now that you have a few options to look at, let's get deeper into prompting. A well crafted prompt can make the difference between a mediocre image and stunning, high quality images. So, just like with the written word, to create effective prompts for images, it's essential to include several key elements. Subject or content of the image. This is going to be the main focus or theme of the image. Art form. Art form is the type of artwork, such as a painting, a digital sketch, digital art, film, photograph, anything like that. Style is going to be the artistic style you want the image to emulate. This could be surrealism, photorealistic, abstract, pop art, anything along those lines. Artist references. If you can mention specific artists whose style you want to replicate, it will really help the AI, such as Van Gogh, Monet, Picasso. It can really pull in more specificity into your prompts. Lighting, describe the lighting conditions, such as soft, diffused light, dramatic, high contrast lighting. Colors are going to be specify the color scheme you want or palette that you want to use. This could be pastel, vivid, bright, monochrome. Framing is where you're going to give details of the composition that you want, like a wide shot, a close-up, bird's eye view. For the level of detail, you want to define for the AI the amount of detail that you're going to want to see in the image. If you use 4K or 8K in the prompt, you will get an image with much more detail in it. Aspect ratio helps the AI determine the aspect ratio of the image. It's the ratio of its width to its height. Some examples: 16:9 in television, 3:2 in photography, 1:1 for Instagram. Additional elements are any other important details of the image you want to generate, such as mood, background, texture. Again, just like for content generation, you don't need all of these elements in a single prompt. But what you do need is enough of them so that the AI is clear on what you are asking it to generate. Otherwise, you're going to get images that you did not want. Subject or content of the image. So we're going to go over some examples here that I've put together. These are some prompts that I'm going to talk about, and then the image that was generated. These are pretty simple prompts at this point. Example 1, a serene mountain landscape with a clear blue sky and flowing river. Example 2, a bustling city street at night with neon lights and busy pedestrians. Art form. An example of this would be a digital painting in a futuristic cityscape, which is what we've got here, or a charcoal sketch of a quiet village. Style deals with things like this. So a surreal painting in a dreamlike forest, or a photorealistic image of a sunset over the ocean. Artist references. So this is going to be things like in the style of Vincent van Gogh, with bold brushstrokes and of vivid colors. Or something like this, which would be inspired by the works of H.R. Giger with dark biomechanical elements. Lighting is the next prompt that we're going to get into. This example, this prompt only said soft diffused lighting, creating a gentle, calm atmosphere, and it generated the sunset. So if you wanted it to have a subject, you would have needed to give it a subject. Example two for this is dramatic high contrast lighting and highlighting the subject's features, which is what this did. For colors, here's an example, a monochromatic color scheme with shades of blue. Now, it just picked the topic because it wasn't specified. Example two for this is a vibrant color palette with bright reds, yellows, and oranges. Framing. Framing prompts could be something like a wide shot of a vast desert landscape or a close up of a flower in full bloom. The level of detail in prompts would be something like this: highly detailed with intricate textures and patterns, which is what this has generated. Or minimalistic with clean lines and simple shapes. Aspect ratio. The prompt was a square image with a 1:1 aspect ratio, or a 16:9 aspect ratio with a widescreen. Now, it was picking the topics here because it wasn't given any. Additional elements could be things like a whimsical fairy tale like atmosphere with magical elements, or a gritty post apocalyptic scene with decaying buildings. So let's take a look at some of these images and what's missing. So let's take a look at these images and see what's predictable and what we didn't expect. These mountains are pretty predictable. The city in the image, however, the writing isn't clear. They're not actual letters. And in these two, these are pretty good. But this forest, you might want to save that prompt for future images if you like the surrealist look. The next two are good as well. This is waves over the ocean. That's what we asked for. Um, but when you don't name a subject, the generation can be on anything, which is what we see here of the skeleton face. It could have been any image. Nothing was defined for the AI, so it just did what it wanted to. This mood description of a sunset is the same thing. It could have been a photo of a cat or a dog or a human or anything, but it just picked something and gave a mood to it. So unless you're going to specify the subject, you're not necessarily going to get the images that you're hoping for. This portrait is pretty much what I expected. You could, give it more details, the sex of the person, the age of the person, things like that. And now here we just said monochrome or blue colors, and so it just gave us a cityscape. Same for the camera lens. No subject was specified. It picked a random object again. This desert is pretty typical, and it would probably benefit from a longer prompt to make it a little bit more interesting. And the same with this flower. It could be any flower. This sort of semi-cat-like image, it's just random. I'm not even sure it's, an actual image you could use for anything, but it gave it a lot of detail, and that's really all we asked for. Here it shows black and white and just some random shapes. And in this one, we asked for a square aspect ratio. It also picked a square object, so it really ran with that. And these next two are pretty good. Again, this cityscape here has writing on this wall, and you'd probably want to use a negative prompt to take out writing because that would have helped that. Now, to illustrate how these elements come together in a prompt, there's going to be some comprehensive examples. So we're going to go to Perchance for that, and that is perchance.org/AI photo generator. This is free, and I think you can do as many generations as you want here. So for this one, I've already put in this prompt: a highly detailed photorealistic digital painting of a futuristic cityscape at night, and want it to focus on the color palette should be blues, purples, greens, things like that. So we're going to generate that. We're asking for dramatic high contrast lighting, should highlight the towering skyscrapers. And we want the frame of the scene to be a wide shot, showcasing the vastness of the city. Now, I made a mistake here. When I asked for the aspect ratio in the prompt, I didn't line it up with what I asked the tool to generate. So unfortunately, we got these portrait ones. For that, you want to go here and into landscape. Now, some of these tools are going to have restrictions on the sizes they can generate because it's only going to be what's offered here. Whereas something like Midjourney or some more advanced paid options might give you different sizing options that are more specific. But with some great things here is like there are a lot of different styles here that you can pick from between concept sketch, oil painting, anime, fantasy, oil, all sorts of different things, watercolor. So that's kind of nice. I'll regenerate in cinematic with the 16 by 9 framing and see what we get. So these are really good and they've got a lot more detail than before. I think a lot of that is because we've given a more detailed prompt. So we're going to try one more prompt here. And for this one, we are asking it to be an aspect ratio of 1 to 1. So for that, we're going to ask it to do a square. We'd like, let's say, 9 generations of this. And that prompt is a whimsical painting. So we're going to go into, we'll go fantasy painting to see what it generates. So we're asking for a surreal, whimsical painting of a dreamlike forest. The forest should be filled with glowing mushrooms and fairy lights, creating a magical atmosphere. We give it an artist name as well and soft, enchanting aesthetic, using diffused lighting to create a gentle, calm mood. The color scheme should feature pastel colors with pinks, blues, greens. Frame the scene as a close up, focusing on small details like the forest and using the square aspect ratio. So these are the prompts that we're getting back from that. And this one didn't generate correctly into the square. And you are going to have some misses when you do this, but that's actually really quite good. So, the other thing you can do with prompting for images is you can enter a negative prompt. So, for things like this, you might want to redo this prompt and say something like, no people, um, and let's say, no grays. See if that makes it a little bit brighter and see if maybe some of the subjects turn into more magical creatures for this. We're going to keep the aspect ratio the same. And the negative prompts can be things like if you don't want any um, color in an image, you can write black and white in the prompt, and then in the anti description or anti prompt, you're going to want to put the opposite, so no colors. And this is still taking a little while, and it still put people in, so that's interesting. Okay, I'm going to see if I take out the gray and just leave the people, what it does. Maybe that confused it. Nope, it it just didn't listen. So I'd have to find another way to prompt that because some of these are still coming back um, with with humans in it. This didn't, and these last ones didn't. So it is getting a little bit better, but they're not exactly perfect. So now that we've seen what they look like in one image generator, we're going to go over to Leonardo, which was also free, at least this portion of it. Now, what I can't do in here is I can't change the model or the style because as soon as I do that, they're going to want a subscription. So we're going to try to also generate the 1 by 1 square and see what this one comes up with as well. Now, these are a little bit more bright and fun, and they didn't include people. I'm not sure if it's generating more, if you just get 3. Maybe you just get 3. So you can compare those to these that are generated. These last ones are probably a little bit more accurate to what we were asking for. And Leonardo was able to do all 3 without any humans in it or people and things like that. So those are unlocking Pro, then you're getting into a subscription plan. Let's see if they can actually go to Midjourney or if that also. So this is another style that you can use, and they're quite similar. So I wouldn't say there's a huge difference between those two. I hope these tips have helped you understand how to craft perfect prompts for AI, both for your written content and also in guiding AI to produce stunning, high quality visual images. Remember, the key is to be clear, specific, and detailed in your approach. And remember, negative prompts are also crucial in refining the results and ensuring unwanted aspects are excluded from the final output. Experiment with different combinations of these elements to get the most out of your AI tools and discover what works best for you, your needs, and your workflow, because it's going to differ for really everyone. I'm going to attach a completely free mini prompt booklet with examples that I went over here today and also of image generation and content creation examples that you can download from my socials just so that you can see what we talked about in this episode. And for that, you can visit my Instagram, East Village Voice, and go to the link in bio tab, and the free download will be there somewhere for prompts or, great prompts or something like that. You can also just search for sample prompts online. For example, a lot of AI sites like Jasper and others will have some sample prompts on their websites so that you can look over them for different categories, social media, and they're just free for anybody. You don't need to have a subscription. Or, like I said before, you can interact with AI and ask it for great prompts to generate something that you want to focus on. So, thank you for joining me on this journey to mastering prompts for AI. In the next episode, I'm going to delve more into AI image generation, how to set up a Midjourney account, and how you can get the most out of your paid credits. Thank you so much.